My name is Paul Modio, and I'm a computer science major here. I'm here to introduce you to our project on developing virtual learning environments. Just some of the points that we'll be making in the presentation is our vision on the project, or what we hope to achieve with it, our definition of what a virtual learning environment actually is, and the progress that we've made so far, what we've discovered, and where we hope to take it in the future. For this project, the computer science and educational fields have collaborated to try to find a way to make virtual environments a better effective tool for classroom projects and labs and so on and so forth. And our overall goal is to create an actual virtual environment that is more user-friendly and classroom-oriented to help further educational endeavors.
So, my name is Jessica, and I worked on the educational side of this project. And one of the first steps that we had to take was really looking at the meaning of a virtual learning environment and what we wanted it to mean for us, because there's different definitions. The main thing that we focused in on was probably point 3. And what we really want our virtual learning environment to do is to supplement traditional face-to-face classroom activities, which in the educational setting is referred to as mixed reality teaching and learning. And so that is our main focus with our project. So far, we've mostly done research in terms of getting things done. And we've learned that not everything in education can or should be done in a virtual learning environment. There's just some things that face-to-face, there's no supplement for face-to-face learning and being able to have that physical interaction with a person. However, we've discovered that virtual learning environments may be very useful in the area of the sciences, specifically when it comes to labs. For instance, in biology, students may study ecosystems, and they might not get the full concept of what that entails and why we need certain things to make an ecosystem work, such as a cloud or a tree. But in a virtual learning environment, the student may be able to remove an element of the ecosystem and see what effects and observe and have that understanding. The same thing with chemistry and chemical reactions. Certain combinations can't be mixed in the classroom because it's explosive. A student might not fully comprehend that, but if they were able to see that on a computer screen and know what would happen if they were to do it, then it gives it a different meaning for them.
My name is Anthony Parente, and I'm also a computer science major. We decided to, in the end, use open source technology for our project. We started off using closed source technology like Second Life, which is privately owned, and that works really great, except the fact that we saw that there was a lot of aspects and tools that weren't utilizing, and it didn't have exactly what fitted our needs. So we leaned more towards open source technology, where we could code it ourselves, create it more from scratch, where we could really develop it in the way that we wanted to have it. Now, that worked really well, however, caused a lot of extra work for it. We had to design it, we had to code it, we had to set up extra hardware like servers to actually run the environment. And in addition, using open source code, which basically anyone with an internet connection can have access to, it's somewhat of a security issue. So we've been working really hard towards that to make sure that anyone who uses our software in the future is guaranteed to be safe. And in the end, we decided to use Open Wonderland as the base version of our open source virtual environment.
My name is Katie Sotaro, and I was on the education team, but I did most of my work with the computer science side. This provided me with a unique perspective on the interdisciplinary project, and it also allowed me to see the different relationships that we will experience in the professional world, specific to this project between the clients, developers, and designers, where the clients provide a description of what they want. The developers build it, and the designers are the main link of communication between the clients and the developers. Now, communication is essential because, especially when working with these two groups, miscommunication is bound to happen with the designers and developers knowing the technical terms, but the clients don't understand that, so it's important for the two groups to communicate effectively to the client what is happening and how much progress is made, because the client has to be kept happy.
With the budding of Web 3.0 and the semantic web, we tried to look to the future to see how we can incorporate this new technology into what we were doing. And we found that using virtual environments, there's a lot of information that's stored, and we can use this new technology to consolidate all the information and possibly have user profiles for both the educators and the students so that they can go from one environment to the next, to one classroom to the other, and keep all of that information and really utilize this future technology.
We also look forward to the future in terms of accommodations for students with learning disabilities. And these can be not only mental disabilities, but also physical limitations that sometimes classrooms are conducive to, but an online environment may fit their needs better. And in terms of security enhancements for our students, as Anthony had mentioned before, because we're going to be using an open source platform, so we really have a lot of focus left on how to make that as secure as possible, not only for students, but for teachers as well. Any questions?
I had a question. My daughter deals with assistive technology to help elementary level students, and she does a little pre-K stuff. When you're talking about the accommodations for learning disability, where do you see that potential for the students with learning disabilities starting out very early and moving forward? How do you see this helping?
Well, educationally wise, there are different types of virtual learning environments, as I explained before. The vision for ours is that it would supplement completely a classroom setting. So what that would essentially mean is that it would be more of a visual tool, maybe, if that's what you're getting towards. It could be a visual tool. Some people are better visual learners. Like I said, as far as physical limitations, sometimes schools aren't as accessible to those who have physical limitations. That's the reality of the society that we live in. And so that could be more conducive as well to their needs. In terms of the semantic web is something that we're looking forward to as well, because with that, a student's needs would almost be anticipated by the computer. So if a student had a question about something, they would get the responses tailored to their needs, to their question.
So we can learn more about how individuals learn
Right.
and be able to adapt to it.
Yes,
So if I'm
that's
a more
the
visual
idea
learner and you're a more
behind
hands-on
semantic.
learner.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Jessica, you mentioned that this environment would not be good for certain subjects, certain things that children would learn in these grades. What would those be that you would not use this?
We didn't really explore too much on the not. We more emphasized on what we wanted to use it for, but off the top of my head, maybe something like phonetics and English.
Okay.
I mean, if you're teaching a person how to read, I would guess that in terms of like pronunciation and things like that, you can have computerized, but I don't know if that's the most effective way of teaching someone that skill, especially at a young age. Once they learn how to read, then the English classes may be doable online, but as far as in terms of getting to that step or even learning another language, I don't know how conducive that is with the accents and there's certain elements to speech that this cannot do unless you're using a microphone type system, which is possible.
Do you see this virtual classroom infiltrating our educational system anytime soon? Like whose generation do you think is going to be using a virtual system as far as, is it going to be kids now today are going to start like incorporating slower and slower, and then maybe in 50 years there'll be an option to either go to school or go to a virtual classroom?
I think right now we're viewing it more as a supplement
Yeah.
to it, to regular education. I mean, there are some training facilities, like for nursing, we saw an example where people in the nursing program would actually go in and like perform surgery or assist in the surgery. This way, when they actually did it for the first time in their life, they could think about to their past experience, which happened, but not really, because it was in the virtual environment. So I would say, I don't know if it would ever replace actual like going to a school, but I could see it becoming more integrated into the educational system as time goes on. Maybe not quite in our generation, but maybe our kids.